Welcome into the Thunder Basketball Universe presented by COOP Ale Works. The offseason is still chugging along, but that doesn't mean that things aren't happening here in the Thunder Basketball Universe. And one of those things, I say nothing happens at this time of the year. No, yesterday was Nick Gallo's birthday. And so we got to celebrate. We're recording this on September 7th, which means yesterday was our very own Nick Gallo's big day. I hope you had a great day, Gallo.
It was a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Started off, came in here to our offices at Paycom Center, and then took the afternoon, hung out with my family.
Good.
Got to spend some time. Went actually over to Myriad Gardens here right across the street.
Wow.
And played with my daughter, so that was lots of fun. And then came home and, 2 kids under 2. Things are crazy at the Gallo household.
You're telling me
days,
the world doesn't stop for your
No,
birthday, Gallo?
No. In fact, my daughter did not stop after she got like a whiff of a cupcake. So yeah, it was a little madness around the house, but so much fun.
Honestly, You got the best of both worlds.
Yes,
there
exactly.
you go. As long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters.
Yep.
And September 6th, forevermore, Nick Gallo Day here in the Thunder Basketball Universe.
Maybe just in the Thunder Basketball Universe. Elsewhere, not so much.
I'm deeming it by the power vested in me in this here universe. September 6th is Nick Gallo Day.
Well, thank you, Paris.
So happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it.
All right. We've actually got a lot to talk about today on this podcast. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Blue Schedule that came out this past week. The G League team, they've got a full slate of games ahead of them. And we got a lot to talk about with that because you know that the Thunder and the OKC Blue really work hand in hand throughout the season. Also, there's a pretty big event coming up here inside of Paycom Center this weekend on September 11th. We'll give you all the details and everything that you need to know about that. Fans are going to want to be here for that fun event. And then we've got an awesome community event taking place here in Oklahoma City at Esperanza Elementary School. We're going to be there. We're going to take you there with us covering that special event and the special guest who showed up as well. So, Nick, let's get started with this Blue game schedule. I know you're very ingrained with the OKC Blue last season, really have been your entire 10 years here with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Talk about what you saw when that schedule popped up.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing that stands out is all of the doubleheader days.
Yeah.
So you get these great opportunities where not only for the team, but for fans, there will be a game here at Paycom Center at either 11 a.m. or noon, and then a Thunder game later on that night at either 6 or 7,
right?
Sometime around then. So you have a great opportunity to sometimes see guys that are going to play for the Thunder either later that night or next week or the week after that, playing for the OKC Blue that afternoon. So really great developmental opportunities for the Thunder. And, with so many players drafted over the last 2 years by OKC, is a great chance for those guys to get the most precious resource available, which is minutes.
Exactly. And the Thunder and the Blue, we've seen this all last season and season before last of how closely those two, they're the same organization,
right.
Essentially. They work hand in hand. They run the same plays. They have the same system, same vocabulary. Everything is very parallel with one another. And that's why so many times last season, how many call-ups came up last season and they just fit in seamlessly. They didn't have to spend time downloading information and figuring out what plays or what and what does that mean and learning vocabulary and all that stuff. They just fit right on in and kept going.
You think about Trey Mann. This is a guy who maybe his first couple of weeks with the Thunder didn't quite have it in terms of, how he was fitting into the group and being able to play at the NBA level. He goes and plays for the OKC Blue, comes back a totally different transformed player. We've seen 2 years in a row, Poku has become a completely different player on the back half of the season after playing with the Blue. Aaron Wiggins, he went down. He told us he had homework assignments and he had some of these primetime matchups that he was supposed to guard, came back to the Thunder, a different player, making quicker decisions, more physical on the ball, not fouling as much. So these are great, incredible chances for these Thunder players who are going to have opportunities to get minutes, only 240 minutes in an NBA game. Well, you get a whole other set of minutes down with the G League and the OKC Blue, and a great chance for the Thunder brass to get their eyes on them, to get the development going, and then just a great chance to then transfer all of that stuff back to the Thunder.
Yeah, so there are a lot of reasons for fans to keep their eye on the OKC Blue throughout the entire season. And a guy might pop up on the Thunder roster. You're like, where did this guy come from? Probably the Oklahoma City Blue.
Yeah, you think about Scotty Hobson last year. He scores his first career NBA basket at age 32 after being this great journeyman in the G League for a few other NBA teams and playing abroad. And at the end of the season, you get those call-ups, kind of like the September call-ups in baseball that actually just happened a couple days ago. And you get these guys, we see Xavier Simpson, who was able to showcase himself. He then turned that into another summer league opportunity this offseason. Right. So a number of different players that you saw at the end of the year get these great chances to play extended minutes.
Right. So let's get into some of the logistics of this schedule. The first game period for the Blue is going to be on November 4th in Nevada against the G League Ignite. And the first chance that you're going to be able to see the Blue here inside of Paycom Center, that's going to be November 9th against the Santa Cruz Warriors. And that's going to be a doubleheader day for the Blue and the Thunder. The Blue plays in that daytime spot, and then the Thunder picks things up that evening. And so that kicks off a 7-game homestand. But one thing, Gallo, that I want to talk to you about that I found so interesting is that the first 16 games of this Blue schedule is part of the showcase, right? So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the Showcase Cup is basically the G League's version of the in-season tournament that's been talked about in a myriad of different ways. And it's basically an opportunity to have more than one thing to win during the course of a long season. So, right now at the NBA level, the only thing to win is the NBA title. Exactly. Only one team gets to do that. And so this is a really cool chance for G League teams who might have different roster construction at the beginning of the season than they do at the end of the season. They might have, an injury issue at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. It's really insurance that every single game that you play is meaningful and, in the direction of trying to make a playoffs, trying to win something. So as you mentioned, the first 16 games of the schedule are part of the Showcase Cup, which culminates in December with the Showcase tournament from right before the holidays, basically.
And this ensures multiple things, right? That these guys are mainly being able to play in meaningful games throughout the season. You don't have to wait until the end of the schedule to be like, all right, when we send guys down now, we know they're going to be playing hard. No, if you send a guy in December to the Blue, he's going to get a lot of good work in. He's going to be out there working hard.
Game pressure is so crucial. Yeah. You can't simulate it in practice. You can't always simulate it in a regular season game when you're out of the playoffs. It's different basketball. And so the opportunity for potential Thunder rookies or guys that are two-way players, think about Lindy Waters III and Eugene Omarui, who's a new two-way signee for the Thunder. The chance for those guys to get meaningful minutes and extended minutes is crucial for their long-term development. And then you also think about, the chance for you to get like sort of a reset and then a chance to start new with the beginning of the regular season after the holidays. So the final 32 games of the schedule are a part of the normal G League regular season. That leads into kind of your standard G League playoffs at the end of March.
So you kind of get two seasons kind of wrapped up in one, which is really beneficial for these guys, making the most of a full slate of games there.
Sometimes a clean slate can be super helpful. And you think about some of these guys that are coming from playing in college, which is more of like a 40-game regular season if you're playing at the elite levels, or AAU or high school, or playing overseas or something. Maybe a little bit more digestible, bite-sized seasons, this like 16 games and then a playoffs and then a 32 games and then a playoffs. That can be maybe a little bit easier to wrap your mind around. And then also to be able to have that hard reset of like, hey, Showcase didn't go the way that I wanted it to, but I can start fresh with this regular season.
So there's going to be stakes throughout the season to keep your eyes on. But for those who want to come down to Paycom Center and watch these guys, Nick, you've been at these games. I've been to a couple of these games. They're fun.
Very fun, very family friendly. Also, I mean, I think about if I was a kid, the opportunity to come down to see, when I was 7 years old, to be able to hear what was going on the court, to be able to see these players who are playing, just that stage below, basically, your AAA team, if we're talking that baseball analogy again. And sometimes you're going to get these guys that are NBA players that are coming down to play. You're getting a chance to see up close and personal how these guys play as professionals. And these are games for the most part that are 11 a.m., noon. So if your kid's not in school yet, if your kid's off of school, if you got a chance to take a day off and you want to take your kid and go do something special, these are great chances in very family-friendly environments.
In fact, so family-friendly, there are 4 field trip days wrapped into this schedule as well, one of which is actually going to be in Tulsa this season. So all of the Thunder fans out there in Tulsa, you're also getting a Thunder preseason game, the annual BOK Center preseason game, but also the OKC Blue is heading your way as well. So for all the information on the Blue schedule, the roster, any other information you may need, tickets or anything like that, go to okcblue.com. They've got you covered with everything that you need. And of course, me and Nick will be covering them throughout the season as well. All right, that wraps up the Blue schedule.
Yeah.
Let's get into what's on tap here in the Thunder basketball universe this weekend. September 11th, it's a big day here inside of Paycom Center because it is Fan Fest. And this is my first Fan Fest. I've never been to one before, and this is a pretty awesome day from what I hear. It is free to the public. You come in and you can win giveaways. You can go meet Thunder drummers, Thunder girls, and meet the O City crew. And it all leads up to a glow dance party with Rumble at the end, which honestly, I would come just for that. Like that's the one I'm like, I'll be there for that.
Yeah. My daughter is going to lose her mind when she sees Rumble. She always talks about how she wants to wear her Rumble shirt every day.
Oh my gosh.
Mind you, she's not even 2 yet and she's like obsessed.
I do have to point out, that's kind of impressive that a 2-year-old is like that in love with Rumble, because you're either like at that age, I feel like terrified of Rumble or in love with him. So it's good to know that she's on the fearless side.
Well, we'll see what happens because this is going to be her first chance to actually see Rumble in person.
Oh, in person?
Yeah. So, well, she's come to a couple games, but see him really up close.
Yeah,
so we'll see how it goes. But
I
think the point remains that like families, this is an amazing event. And I think it's another perfect example of how the Thunder is more than just a basketball team. This is a community fixture. This is an organization that has dug its roots into Oklahoma City. And so this event has nothing to do with basketball.
Right.
And yet it's an awesome chance for families, people to come down and just be a part of a fixture in the community that is, entertainment. It's fun. It's something awesome to do indoors while it's still really hot here in early September.
Very important. Yes. And there's going to be giveaways every 10 minutes from what I hear. I mean, concert tickets to like Keith Urban and Backstreet Boys and of course Thunder games as well. There's also going to be skills challenges. I mean, you can test your vertical jump and how fast you can shuffle, those are fun things that you just don't get to do.
So something for the parents too, to see just how much athleticism they've lost like I have since becoming a parent. So it's great.
The biggest element to this though is that fans who show up to FanFest will have exclusive access to single game tickets through the first half of the season. When I say exclusive access, I mean tickets don't go on sale to the general public until September 15th. So you are getting first come, first serve. You can choose your seats, choose your tickets, and be first in line.
Wedge that foot in the door, get the opportunity, because I think as we've seen over the years, when people come to Paycom Center, when they come to Thunder games, when they come to concerts here, when they come to events like FanFest, they recognize like this is something special. This is a point of civic pride that occurs downtown, and they're gonna want to be here. They're gonna experience this, and they're gonna say like we gotta come to some games this year too.
Exactly. So September 11th, 2 to 5 p.m. here at Paycom Center. It is free for the public. So all you got to do is bring yourself, bring your family, bring your friends, and just show up. If you want more information, go to okcthunder.com/fanfest. All right, let's talk about what you're going to see after this here commercial break. It is so very special because the Thunder's getting out into the community, getting back out into the community. And I got to say, it's awesome to see because the past 2 years obviously have been hampered by the pandemic with face-to-face interactions. And so things are picking up steam, and we're going to take you to an elementary school here in Oklahoma City, Esperanza Elementary School, where the Thunder brought the book bus out, which is, if you haven't seen it before, if you haven't seen the book bus, it is incredible. It is literally what it says. It's a bus full of books.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of books have been given away by the Thunder and the Thunder book bus over the course of the decade plus that the team has been here for, nearly 15 years that the team has been here for. And so, Paris, I know you got a brief taste of the Thunder's community endeavors your first season here. I cannot wait for you to see a full season of that, kind of as Sam Presti said, like that 360 degree view of what being a Thunder organization member, a Thunder player is like, because the Thunder is going to be out in full force now that it is more safe to do so. A great chance for all those face-to-face interactions, being with kids, being going to senior centers and all that. And it really, with the team, coming back, getting back into market with training camp around the corner coming up, media day coming up around the corner, I'd expect to see some familiar faces out in the community here sometime soon as well.
I would as well. And one of my favorite things from when I was briefly able to cover community events for the Thunder was whenever the kids see anything Thunder related, right? The book bus, the Thunderbolt, Rumble, and then a Thunder player. It's just the eyes light up. It is the highlight of their week, sometimes their month, of just they'll talk about it for the rest of the month, of just like, do you remember when the Thunder came to our school? And so it's a really special moment that's happening and taking place. And so we're going to take you to this elementary school and bring you inside of this awesome event taking place at Esperanza Elementary School. Take a look.
COOP Ale Works is the proud sponsor of Thunder Basketball Universe. Brewers of the fan favorites F5 IPA and 99-calorie Ice Chest IPA. You'll find those and many more COOP beers at retailers across Oklahoma. Learn more at coopaleworks.com.
All right, we're here at Esperanza Elementary School, where the Rolling Thunder Book Bus is here to give away hundreds of books to a group of very, very lucky second graders here. And I gotta say, this day has been so exciting already.
These elementary school kids went absolutely nuts. Before two Thunder players, Lindy Waters III and Aaron Wiggins, even stepped into the building, Paris, this was kind of amazing. We walked in there and we were like blown away by the energy.
Absolutely. The energy started before they even stepped into the gymnasium to greet the kids, and kept on going as every single one of them filtered their way through this book bus. Take a look at all the excitement that happened here at Esperanza Elementary School.
We're so excited to be at Esperanza Elementary School today with American Fidelity and the Rolling Thunder Book Bus, where we're able to come to the school and kids are able to come onto the book bus and pick out a book of their choice to keep.
Yeah? Christmas comes early this year, huh?
It's super awesome, just being able to spend time with people around the area.
That might be a good book for you.
Especially the kids, it's huge. I mean, I know that when I was a kid, that was something that I would have loved to do.
Serving the community is so important, and especially after COVID, we haven't been able to do this. And American Fidelity is so excited to partner with the Thunder and just to get these kids a cool book and have a fun day.
Do you wish you had a book about you? Yeah, me too.
It's love all the way. Just being out here in the community and seeing all these kids and being able to give back, it's no better feeling.
I had students in there saying, this is the best day of my life. It means a lot.
Wow, such an exciting day. And really what stood out to me the most, Gallo, was just how much fun Aaron and Lindy had being in the community. This is their first chance to really be face-to-face with folks that might be in the stands one day.
Yeah, last couple years with the pandemic, it just limited some of these personal interactions, but so much of what the Thunder is all about is being completely ingrained in this culture, in this community. The culture of the organization is the culture of the city as well, and so these guys, they recognize that this is a crucial aspect of their experience of being Thunder players, and you really saw that. I mean, we talked to them. They really gushed about being here and the experience. You could tell that they loved just being out here connecting with these kids.
And how about both of them being the first ones to sign the inside of this book bus? I mean, making their mark on their first ever community appearance face to face. That's awesome.
They took that so seriously, and they really posted up. They were like, this is going to be my Thunder basketball card, effectively, with their signature there on the back of the wall.
That's right. So to be able to see more content from today, go to OKCThunder.com or follow at OKC Thunder on all social channels. You'll be able to see some pictures and some really awesome video coming out of today's event. But that wraps up today's podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much to our producer. And until next time, Thunder up and catch you later.